Hello, hello, hello. This is going to be how I started my YouTube channel. Don't mind me, I'm just having a gluten-free corn dog, no big deal. Also got a little Coke Zero action. This is the products that are going on in my life today, in case you wanted to know. Okay, so we're talking about how I started my YouTube channel. Let's fix this situation here. So it's not that crazy of a story. I just started it. Now, what's funny is when I started my YouTube channel, I had no idea what I was going to be, what I was going to do exactly. All I really knew is that I wanted to do something that helped people. And I knew I wanted to do it on a really big scale. And I knew that I wanted to be like the people on YouTube that had been helping me. See, when I was like starting out in my recovery journey and my healing journey, I found a lot of solace in the YouTubers that were content creators, life coaches, and people that made like helpful content. And I would Google things in the middle of the night, like how to stop panic attack and like how do I get out of depression and how to have healthy relationships. And I would just like Google all of these things when I needed to learn something about how to be, a person in the world, a more like functioning version of myself. And I would just find these people and they would help me so much just in these short videos of like 5 tips to do this and 10 ways that you can do that. And then of course, like there was longer videos, but like that is what just healed my soul so much, was like having these people there at 3 a.m. when I was sitting in my bed crying, like trying to figure out how to be a human, and they were there for me. And so it's so meaningful, I think, to have an online presence that is so big like that, to where people can just type in what they need and then find your face. And I knew that I wanted to be that impactful, and I knew that I wanted to be able to be online like that so that I could be that face that helped the people. I had such a heart to help people, and I desperately wanted to give back to the world in the way that, help had been given to me, and that was YouTube. So I started the YouTube channel, and I knew I wanted to call it Raquel, or I am Raquel, because I have it tattooed on my wrist, Raquel. And that is like a high school nickname that I got. And it was like kind of a big deal. Sorry, I'm eating. It was kind of a big deal for me to have that nickname, and it meant something big. And like it meant to me, it was like my rock star kind of self. See, like I played music. Hang on. There's something happening. None. Oh, none. I had Zoom eyebrows and I don't want them on. Okay. So it meant a big deal to me because the nickname was kind of like my rocker self, my rock star self. Like we would play music in high school, and it was like we all had like these rock star names. So I kind of had like this persona, right? Like this, like you kind of make up, like when you do music on stage, like you have to kind of make up like an image for yourself. And so I had this like image of this person. And so like I was so not confident. Okay, so I was like not confident at all. And I wanted to be like that super dynamic, like very confident, like badass kind of rock star person on the stage. And so Raquel, she was like that person, right? And I really was not. And so I would embody this sort of, rock star character that I wanted to be. And that would help me like move into being how I wanted to be and being able to exhibit the behaviors I wanted to have. And so that's what Raquel was about. And that's who I knew I had to be when going after my dreams in whatever way, shape, or form. Like that's what she was to me. She was my confident self. So that's why Raquel was a big deal. And oh my God, sorry. I was hearing like the craziest things from the other side of my house and I had to make sure that nobody was dying. Okay. So anyway, I am Raquel thing. So it was like, I knew that like I wanted to have something to do with that. So like I put that in the title and that's what it did. And I started out my YouTube channel as a tarot card reader. So that's kind of funny. Any of you who know me now knows that like I don't really do that like that anymore. I still love it and I think it's great, but I don't really do it like professionally or whatever anymore. And the reason that I picked tarot was because I knew that like energy work was like a huge part of my purpose. And I knew that I had a lot of spiritual gifts and I knew that like navigating energy and using energy in my healing work was part of what I was supposed to do. And tarot really made it like easier for me to talk about energy, to talk about spiritual gifts, to channel energy, because I knew I was a channeler. I knew that I channeled these things, but it was hard for me to like just like go into that state where I was channeling information. And so having this tool, having this thing of tarot, like helped me to move into that place really, really quickly. And so it became a ritual for me to do the tarot. And then so I just I knew that other people were doing tarot on YouTube and I thought, well, I could do that too. It wasn't really like my dream purpose or job or goal, but it was like an easy way for me to have something to do that wasn't just me speaking directly to the camera, because that was so nerve-wracking for me. So I did the tarot on YouTube and I got a lot of followers doing that. And I did some readings professionally and that was cool too. And then like, as I grew in like the knowing of who I am and my authenticity, I realized that I wanted to use my gifts in a different way. I realized that I wanted to directly channel information and give it to the people in a heart-centered way, and that I didn't want to channel the energy through a tool like tarot anymore, just because as I grew in my authenticity of who I am, I knew that that felt more right for me to do for me and my business. And that when I was helping people, because I was a peer support specialist at the mental health organization, and so I was doing like these one-on-one sessions with people and these group sessions with people. And I knew that when I was in the act of helping people in a one-on-one session or in a group session, that the channelings would come. And the information would come and all of a sudden I would be saying the things that they needed to hear and I didn't know where it was coming from, right? So I knew I could channel directly, into verbal messages. And that was kind of how I wanted to always do it, because that's what felt right and that's what felt good to me. So I moved away from doing tarot and then began to market and brand myself much more as a life and spiritual coach. And that way the formal education and the art of coaching the people would be primary. And then I would be in that state where I'm being a vessel that is allowing myself to be used by spirit. And I knew that the stuff could come through that space. I knew that it would come through that space when I was in the mindset of helping people, that what was meant for them from spirit would come through me to them. And so that's how I moved into away from doing tarot on YouTube. into doing more of these like self-help, motivational, inspirational sort of messaging like that. And so I do it the same way, really. And I start all my stuff with like a prayer of like, hey, how can I be of service today? Please speak through me, please work through me, please act through me, and use me as a vessel to help the people. And so I always kind of say that and do that. And that's how that works. And so as far as like starting YouTube, it was like, I think, an evolutionary process too. You know, YouTube is something that grows with you as you grow, and you just have to start. Like if you've been thinking of using YouTube to help you with your business, or like you feel like you have a cause or you have something to say, just start. You don't have to know. And I think I changed it from like just Raquel to I am Raquel, because like there was an evolution there. And you can, and then I tried like I am Raquel life and spiritual coaching for a while. Like that was long and weird. And so I changed it back. And like it will evolve, and you can rebrand, and you can change the things, and you can change the colors, you can swap the pictures, you can lose an old audience and get a new audience. You can quit the old things that you tried that weren't working for you. I tried so many things. There was one point that I tried that was dream. I did a lot of dream interpretation work. And so I was like doing like these spoken word weird stories of like my dreams. I mean, I did all kinds of weird stuff that I went back and deleted. And you don't have, like, you're not bound, and you can always delete the videos if it's not working, and you can test it. You know, you can throw things out there and see if it's working for you and if it's attracting the kind of audience that you want, and you get to play and you get to have fun with it, and you don't have to have it all figured out right now today. Like you literally just have to start, and and you'll figure it all out. And you know, like, you're gonna fuck it up and you're gonna do it bad and it's gonna be terrible. And one thing that's kind of cool is that if you scroll back, like I deleted a ton of my old stuff, but like you can still see like some of my really weird old videos if you scroll all the way down to the bottom. And if you go on some of your other favorite YouTube people's pages, like you scroll down to the bottom, you see all the weird stuff they used to do. Like everybody's YouTube's evolved and changed, and nobody starts out with like the best cameras. Nobody starts out with like amazing graphics. Nobody starts out having the most awesome taglines or super like being able to like present themselves well. Nobody starts out like that. They all start out with like literally like their phone and like propped up against a box by a window with a horrible background, saying crazy shit. We all do. We all did it. It's like a rite of passage for YouTube, and it can happen that way for you too. And so you have to want it bad enough to fuck it up, and like you have to want it bad enough to do it really bad. But have faith in yourself that just like everybody else, like you'll go from doing it bad to doing it better, and then doing it better, and then doing it better, and maybe never doing it great. And like, you know, I remember having a lot of anxiety about doing YouTube. Being on camera, speaking in front of people all together was so anxiety inducing. I cried. Okay. So when I made my first YouTube video, I remember turning on the camera and then being like just me there by myself, like nobody to even like be embarrassed in front of her or try to impress or anything. And like, I just was like frozen solid, had all this shit to say, had all of these dreams and visions of all the amazing things I was going to say, and how amazing, like awesome and dynamic and funny and all the stuff that I was going to be like when I turned on the camera. And then I turned on the camera and I was like, oh, deer in headlights. And I'm telling you, I cried. I turned it off and I cried and I cried. And I was like, I'm never going to be a YouTuber. Like, because I would never be able to be confident on camera. And the shame, the shame, because I was in such low self-esteem at that point in time. This was 6 years ago. And my self-esteem was so low. And so I was like, I looked so ugly and I had a pimple, and I'm like just mortified that like I existed on a camera. And it's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore, and it's okay. And if I, of all people, just like with the world's worst panic attacks and the lowest self-esteem ever, could turn on that camera and get through it, you know, then so can you. And like the thing is, I cried about it. I deleted that fucking horrible, video of me just staring at the camera. Nobody, I never posted it to YouTube, but I just deleted it immediately. And then I cried, I got through it, prayed about it, amped myself back up, pepped myself back up, did the self-talk. And then I tried again the next day. And it's like, that's what it takes. Like, just keep going, just start, work with what you have. You don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money on cameras. You don't have to buy fucking tripods and microphones. I mean, like, you'll get there, you'll get there, but everybody's phone has everything that you need to start. So find a fucking window, like prop your camera up on whatever you have and just start. And here's the magical part too. We all feel like that when we start YouTube that like we'll have some viral. I don't know why we think this is like that like if it sucks and it's terrible, that like tomorrow everybody at work will be like, oh, like laughing at you because you made some shitty video. But like the truth is, like, if 2 people watch it from Ireland or Switzerland or like some other country or something, then that was actually a pretty good response, because you'll most likely get 0 views. And so you get time, you get grace, you get space to try it on for size and to play around with it, and for nobody to ever see it. And like I had like, I niched down when I started into a very specific kind of spiritual community. And it was like 2 and 3 people from like that one specific community, and nobody will even see it if you don't put tags. And so, it's not going to be like some horrible giant catastrophe if you upload a shit video. So just upload a shit video. Just see what it feels like to put yourself on a camera and then upload that video, and the rest will be fine. You'll figure it out. You'll watch your own video. You'll cringe a little bit at the things you do terrible, and then you'll do it different the next time. So that is my advice for you. My story around, that's how I started my YouTube channel, was I literally just went for it, cried my way through it. And that is how you can do it too. And eventually you'll get, I don't even have good cameras now. Maybe you won't get better cameras. I don't know. I always just work with whatever I have. I do have like a cool microphone for my podcasting, but you'll find your groove and you'll figure out what matters to you about your YouTube, about your presence online. You'll figure out what doesn't matter to you. But I think the most important thing is that you have a heart for what it is that you want to say, that you have a message that you want to deliver, that you have something, a real, passion for it for some reason. And as long as you're passionate about it, then it'll work. And I love you guys. And if you would subscribe, because don't you want to see me forever? I want to see you forever. So subscribe. Make sure you're checking out that From Rock Bottom to Badass podcast, because it's been a long time coming, babe. We went from sitting on the carpet crying through videos to our whole own podcast, which is incredible. So there's a whole playlist of all of my From Rock Bottom to Badass podcast sessions, and you can get it on all the podcast platforms. You can check out anything else I'm doing, www.ironrockfile.com. You can get my book on Amazon called How to Wear a Crown. That's how I was, all the stuff that you need to know to go from somebody who is so low self-esteem they can't even look at themselves on the camera to doing it every single day and loving themselves fully. So if you're really, really super nervous, maybe you could start there. Gain that self-confidence. I wish I would have known all the stuff that I put in that book before I started. It probably would have went a lot better if I did. But there's that. So subscribe and check back in. I'm gonna talk to you guys a whole lot about a lot of different stories about how I do what I do, how I got to where I got. And follow me on all the social media at I am Raquel. Bye.